What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the video. Before we start, make sure that you guys go to www.itsjust6.com/shop, get entered to win this Corvette right here that we're giving away. It's a really cool car, a lot of new merch and a lot of new stuff on the site, selling out very quickly. So if you want to get entered in, don't forget we've got like 3 weeks left until this car is going to get its new owner. Flying them down here for the weekend. They're going to come claim the car, have a good time, all that good stuff. So today we're going to be basically trying our best to get this dang car fixed. We have been doing everything in our power for the last few days, the last few videos. If you guys have been keeping up with it, we've done everything trying to get this thing fixed, but it's really being a pain right now. So we got an oil leak fixed. That we had a major oil leak coming out of the side of the block where we had one of the oil filter housing. Basically this little housing right here, this is an aftermarket one. The factory one from the Gen 2 Coyote does not work on this Gen 1 block, so we had to go ahead and get a new one. We swapped it on there and now the oil leak is fixed, so we got that all fixed up. Then we had some issues with the cams, the degree of the cams. Doug actually pulled the motor apart real quick yesterday. We got that all fixed up. Now we're battling with a clutch that is really fighting us right now. So the Mantic triple disc clutch that I put in here, for some reason we're having issues getting it to disengage. I'm not sure if it's something that we did wrong assembling it or really what the deal is, but we're gonna go ahead, pull this thing apart and check it out. Doug already pulled the exhaust off. We got the drive shaft out of the way. Everything is loose right now. We just need to get the trans pulled off and check everything out and see what's going on. What I'm hoping happens is we pull the transmission out, we find something pretty simple, like it needs a spacer on the throwout bearing, or maybe we just install one of the clutch discs wrong, and then we just fix it up real quick and we get it driving. Because what I'm trying to do, me and Doug are gonna go on a road trip tonight, about 3.5 hours away, to go see family and see friends, stuff like that. So we're trying to get this car done because I need to put break-in miles on it anyways. Technically, you wanna put about 500 to 1,000 miles on a brand new engine with break-in oil in it, to basically break in all and seat all of the rings and break in the bearings and get all the tolerances right. We're working on a strict timeline right here, trying to get this thing going, but it is 5 o'clock in the afternoon right now. I think we can get it done probably. If we pull it apart, we find an issue, we should be able to have this thing back together by like 7:30. Luckily, we've pulled these transmissions way too many times, so it's becoming now where it's just like a very simple thing to do.
Things are still hot though.
Yeah, I know. Everything's still hot because we've been having it running all day trying to get it data logged and everything. But VMP should be sending me over a tune here in a minute, so we're getting close. We really are. After we get the clutch figured out, that is the last thing. Knock on wood. Knock on where's some wood? Where's some wood? After we get the clutch figured out, that should be the last thing that we have to figure out on the car, and we should be able to finally take it on its first drive with the new engine and everything and get started breaking it in. Oh, it's just, there's a lot of stuff going on. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. Daniel, I swear, do not. Just let me clean my camera in peace. You know what I'm really looking forward to? It's gonna be real fun.
Putting it back up here.
Stabbing that thing through 3 discs while it's up in the car. Woo! It's already out?
Yeah, it's out. I already had it out.
Hang on. Let's just make that thing slip out.
That's why we didn't push the damn
shifter thing through.
Oh.
There went my shift boot. Slide forward.
Race car.
Oh, it's a race car.
Oh, that did it.
Oh my God, I just completely fucking wrecked my shift boot. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I don't have a shift boot anymore. No, I didn't prep that area. I didn't know we were pulling this trans like this. All right,
Wait, how else are we gonna do
here.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Hang on, you gotta lower it down.
Well, I know, but...
This is hitting the ball. This is the most fun transmission pull I've ever had.
Back a little bit. Oh! God damn, watch it. Hey, you gotta watch her here. Step. That's the one we need now. Watch, I got it. Alright, let it down.
Don't drop it on me, please. Uh-oh.
What? Let it down.
It is down.
So we overextended it?
I think it's busted. Yep, she's locked. Well, it looks like what happened is our hydraulic throwout bearing right here wasn't long enough and it got overextended and now it is locked up. And that's even more depressing because you can't just fix that. You got to get a new one, which means that this car is not moving anytime soon. Yep, that is definitely... That's definitely our issue.
Let's check these spacers while we have it out. Yep, that'll do it. You know what that means?
Yeah, that thing's trashed.
This isn't that 0.6.
That's 0.6?
But evidently it's not enough. so.
No. Hang on.
I know, that's the fat one. I'm just playing here.
Okay, so, all right guys, give us just a minute. We're gonna get on the phone with Mantic and figure out what we need to do. But basically what was happening is, I think we overextended the throwout bearing and kind of exploded it. I'm not sure whose fault this is, but long story short, it didn't go together like it was supposed to, so that's not good. This is gonna be borderline impossible to see over the camera, but you notice these little metal chunks everywhere. Inside of here, there is a lip that is supposed, oh yeah, okay. That is definitely not supposed to come out. That is supposed to be what retains the throwout bearing in place. And this end part that Doug's got right here, this basically slides onto the spring section. And now typically you'll, oh yeah, it's so messed up. But typically that goes all the way down there, and you have a kind of like a retainer that holds it in place. Our throwout bearing was actually a little bit too far from the pressure plate, so the spacer behind it was not big enough. And what happened was we pushed the clutch down. It's only supposed to travel about like 2 inches or so. It was too far back because our spacer wasn't big enough, so it blew this completely off of the end. And that's where it tore up and it started leaking out and everything. And this whole entire piece came off. That is completely done for. Well, we did find the issue. Sadly, the issue was not what we were wanting to find. We were expecting to just pull it apart, be able to put a spacer in there and go, but the throwout bearing is completely destroyed. Now, the issue with that is that it's not just a stock throwout bearing. Being that it is a triple disc clutch, it's actually a smaller throwout bearing by like half the size, like I was explaining, which means that we are absolutely not going to be able to just quickly replace it. That's out of the question. So it is a Friday. Mantic is closed. I can't even get with them to let them know until probably Monday, which is setting us back a lot on getting this car together, but at least we'll have an updated tune. So whenever we get the clutch and everything sorted out, we'll be ready to go. This sucks. All of these troubles over a spacer on a throwout bearing. That makes sense though, because you remember I was saying with the clutch down, whenever we were first doing it, it was working a little bit at first, but then whenever I was pushing the clutch down, I couldn't get it into gear. And even whenever I got it into gear that one time, I tried letting it out and it made no difference. So basically what was happening is I was basically just jamming it into gear with no clutch. It makes complete sense. No fixing that today. That's bad. Oh well. Well, unfortunately, since there's pretty much nothing else that we can do on the Mustang for now, it's pretty much at a stopping point until we can get another hydraulic throwout bearing in. We're pretty much stuck once again with that car. So we've got the Shelby here, and the Shelby, Shelby's getting some goodies, I guess. I've been saving this for a time where I didn't really have too much else to do and wanted to give you guys some more content, and turns out that I don't really have that much else to do, and I want to give you guys some more content. So looks like we're at a perfect timing. My good friends over at ZL1 Add-ons sent me a little bit more goodies for the little Shelby here, and today we're gonna be putting those on. We're gonna have to back this thing in because what we're doing involves the rear of the car today. As you guys see on the back of my Mustang, you can notice that little wicker bill right there. It's basically attached to the spoiler. It's the little piece that comes off the back. It looks like a fin. That is the exact same spoiler that I have on this car. That's actually a GT350 track pack spoiler that I put on that car because I really loved how they look. Turns out I ended up buying a GT350 track pack, and obviously it's got the track pack spoiler on it. So my good friends over there at ZL1 Add-ons went ahead and sent me yet another one of those wicker bills for the spoiler, being that I have another spoiler with no wicker bill on it, and I really love how that looks. That was my favorite part about that car whenever I put it on. So I'm hoping that I have the exact same impact on this car whenever we put it on. Good Lord, this thing is absolutely beautiful. We're gonna get started. We're gonna put this wicker bill on here. The good thing about this one though is that it is not just black ABS plastic like the one that is on the black car. This one is a little bit nicer. Check it out. So I told them that, you know, it's a Shelby. They were like, oh, if it's a Shelby, let me send you something a little bit cooler. So we've got this super nice carbon fiber wicker bill with our translucent smoke colored center insert here, which every bit of this is just absolutely insane. It looks so dang good. But we're gonna go ahead and grab this and we're gonna get started installing it today. What we do need for this is we need our little hardware kit with drill bits. I've got my riv nut gun here that they sent me. Huge thanks to them again. I've got a tape measure, some tape, and a marker to mark where I need to drill some holes at. So we're gonna go ahead and scoot over here and get started with this install. So if you guys don't know how riv nuts work, if you've ever seen a rivet, it's basically a piece of metal that you put into a hole, and whenever you squeeze it, it expands and it locks into the hole. So what a riv nut is essentially the same thing as a rivet, where you put this threaded portion into a hole, you expand it, it locks itself in, but now wherever you lock it in, you can now thread a bolt into it, if that makes any sense. So that is actually how that wicker bill attaches to the spoiler. You drill a hole into the spoiler, then you insert this riv nut, clamp it down to where it expands, and now you've got a basically threaded portion on the wicker bill itself ready to go. So with that in place, I'm gonna go ahead and grab our small drill bit, and basically for this small drill bit, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna drill the inside holes. Let me shut the door a little bit. I know you guys are probably struggling to see. Hang on. accidentally drop it onto the Shelby's friggin' hood. That'd be nice. I'd hate myself. Anyways though, but we do need 4 of the riv nuts to be on this outer section. So there's one that goes here, one here, one here, one here. And the very center one, we actually do not need a riv nut, especially because it's very thin right here. This is basically gonna double over as an install video. So if you guys wanna go grab one of these from ZL1 add-ons, you can go in the description down below and check out the link. But anyways though, if you go get one of these wicker bills, you can use this video as a reference to install it. It's not too bad of an install, but you definitely gotta be careful because you don't wanna end up with a crooked wicker bill. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take this blue tape here and I'm gonna lay it pretty much, oh, okay, that's cool. This does not have to be perfectly flat. It's just gonna protect the area around where you're drilling. You're gonna take a tape measure now, and you're gonna measure basically the distance from one side of the wing to the other, cut it in half, and basically center where the center of it is. In this case though, I actually don't have to do that, being that we've got these center stripes right here on the GT350 and make a mark right there. Whereas unfortunately on that car, I had to measure and make sure that everything was perfect, and it's a little bit more of a challenge. But luckily for me, this one, you just pretty much center it right there, and we're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my favorite technique of eye measuring. Check me out, you ready? Center that, and we're gonna make a mark about right there. Then we're gonna grab our wicker bill, and what I'm gonna do, since I'm by myself, and this is a pretty difficult install to do by yourself, but I'm gonna do it anyways, because I'm a whole man. I'm gonna grab a few pieces of tape here and stick them to my face. That way, I can hold up my wicker bill by myself. So let me stick this here in place, give or take, let's say about there. I'm gonna grab the first piece of tape, and I can tape that to there. Then I wanna grab the other piece of tape that is in my mouth, ow. And I'm gonna tape it about right there. And that hole is actually perfectly center right now, so that's good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my Sharpie, and then I'm just gonna color in a little hole right there, and we can go ahead and drill our hole. So in the kit that they send you 2 size drill bits. The big one is only for the outer 4 that you're gonna be using for the riv nuts. Do not use this one for the inside ones, or else you're really gonna hate yourself. Put our drill bit in here, like so. Ta-ta, ta-da. Okay, plug it in, plug it in. Okay, and now for the most nerve-wracking part of this install. Here we go. There we go. There is now a hole in my $700 spoiler. Oh, okay, this is where the slightly easier part comes in. You can take the tape off. Get the fuck off. Oh man. Now we're gonna take our little bolt here, we're gonna put it in the center hole, and then we're gonna tighten it up into the hole. Make sure you leave the tape on. You don't wanna scratch it all up while you're doing this. Let me grab my handy dandy SK Tools bit. By the way guys, if you want to grab yourself some SK Tools, you can use the code that is on the screen right now. Save a bunch while you get you some tools, and it helps me out. So go do it. Go buy some tools. I'll love you long time. Now, we're gonna line this thing back up. I'm gonna thread this into there, like so. Then I'm gonna take my drill bit. Perfect, that's actually perfectly center. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, so now the next steps are, now that you've got that, you're gonna wanna basically drill the remaining holes out and install the bolts. And on the last 4, like I said, don't forget about the riv nuts, but I'll show you how to do that in a second. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill out 1, 2, 3, and 4 more holes. And these are gonna accept the regular bolts right there. So let's go ahead and mark our holes and do some more drilling. But first, I'm gonna grab my pieces of tape here. Oh, come on, don't do that to me. And I'm gonna straighten this thing up, and I'm gonna stick my tape back on there. So now that that is in place, I can go ahead and do some more drilling. Same thing again, I'm gonna go ahead and put some bolts in these 2 to hold it down in place, just to make sure that we got everything sitting in there flush. Okay, now that we put the 2 more screws in there, you can take your tape off, and we're gonna relocate our tape now to a little bit further out. And now, same thing once again. So we actually have this perfect. This looks amazing. Okay. Same thing again, 2 more bolts, put them in there in place and make sure it's holding in place. And now you can kind of see the direction that it's going, and oh my gosh, it looks so good. Oh, the carbon fiber on this color is just amazing. Okay, so anyways, we've got the first 5 put in place. Now don't forget, like I said, the 2 outer ones are gonna be the riv nuts. So now what we're gonna do is a little bit different. So I'm gonna come over here, same steps. I'm gonna take my Sharpie. Now I'm gonna mark my holes right there in the center. Okay, so now that I've got the 4 outer holes marked, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take all the bolts out and remove the entire wicker bill once again. And the big drill bit, again, if you remember, is for the riv nuts. So that's what we're gonna start on now. All right, as you guys see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes drilled. Okay, and same thing on the passenger side. And we're gonna grab our riv nut gun here. Next thing, I'm gonna go ahead and thread the riv nut gun down into place. The way you do this one is actually reverse thread. Thread that on. I'm gonna stick the little riv nut into the hole. Actually, wait, almost forgot. Make sure before you do that, you take all your tape off. Now we're gonna insert our riv nut into the spoiler. Come on. There it goes. Now the next step is you're just going to squeeze this and expand the rivet into there. Pull our riv nut tool out now that we've squeezed it, and you can notice in the spoiler right there, you see that little silver thing? That is the riv nut in place in the spoiler. Okay, so that is number 1. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the second one. Out of 4, do the exact same thing. Push the riv nut through the hole in the spoiler. There we go. And now squeeze. And just like that, check it out. We've got our second riv nut installed out of 4. So now what we're gonna do next is we're gonna get started installing this thing back. Whenever we put this on though, this time what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our center section here, which is this translucent color, and there's this protective film over it that you're gonna wanna take off before you put it on. You take this and we're gonna put it on top of here like so. And then we're gonna be very careful not to drop this and crack it, but we're gonna stick it up in place up here and thread these bolts back into place and hold this new section on. And now we're just gonna basically put bolts in all of the holes. Again, the outer 4 now have riv nuts, so we're just gonna thread these into the riv nuts that are there. Perfect. And basically the riv nuts are just there to provide a little bit more stability with the holes that are being drilled. Instead of it basically being self-tapped into the plastic, now they're going to be going into a metal riv nut that is embedded itself into the spoiler itself. So, all right, we're getting there. Also, I do want to mention, before you start tightening any of them down, make sure that you've got all of them threaded in and started, because if not, it's going to be really hard to start them one at a time after that. Also, another key point that I do want to point out to you guys, do not, under any circumstances, use an impact like this to tighten these down. I'm just tightening them down until they reach the bottom, but do not actually torque them using this. It will strip out. Next up, I'm going to use my SK Tools ratchet here, and I'm going to hand tighten these down. It's about good there. Good. All right, so our install of the wicker bill is done. Let me swap over to my other camera right here so that way we get a little bit better shot and I can show you guys what it looks like. Holy cow, look at that. That rear end looks much better. Holy cow, dude, so much better. It just complements the entirety of the car. Look at the carbon. Oh, dude, that is so sick. Now that the spoiler is on the car and it looks amazing, we're about to kill the game even more. And we're about to put something else on the front of the car from ZL1 add-ons. Let me get this thing jacked up first and then I'll show you. What are these? Oh, these are my ZL1 add-ons lift points. Perfectly in place for jacking up the car and not having to worry about my pinch welds getting damaged. These are ZL1 side splitters for the front of the car. And grab our hardware kit right here as well. So if you've seen the new 2020 ZL1, or not, Jesus, the new 2020 GT500s, they've got these little side splitter things that go on the side of the front bumper like this, and they look absolutely amazing. Well, these guys thought about it. They were like, you know, that looks really good. Let's make one for a GT350. It's been a while since I've been on a on the ground on a creeper, but unfortunately the Mustang won't get fixed and won't get off my damn lift. So we got the Shelby on the ground and the bike car on the lift, but whatever. Anyways, 2 of these under here are T27s, and then one of these is 7mm. And after that, we've got a push pin back here in the fender well. Take that out. And we've got one more. Which one does this go to? Let me see. Okay, yeah, so we've got one more that we're gonna have to put in up here at the very top. Let me take that one out as well. Next steps, super simple. Take your new hardware here that is a little bit longer. Grab our little side splitter. Let's go under here. Thread that in a few threads so it'll hold it up in place. Grab our second. Thread that one up there into place. Alrighty. And there we go. We've got one of them installed. Oh my lord, that looks insane. So you see now we've got this little winglet and it's actually surprisingly sturdy. That thing is on there. Kind of curious if that helps with downforce any. That is very solid. Wow.
It is super hot, but I got the car finished up. Check this out. So look on the rear of the car back here. We've got our wicker bill in place. I forgot how much of a difference the wicker bill makes on the back of these cars. Doesn't that look like a video game? This looks like Forza or something. That's not even the best part. Well, actually it is, but this is also pretty cool. Check this out on the front of the car. We've got our GT500 side splitters on the front bumper. See down there? Look at how good that looks. This car is coming along. This is the craziest looking track car that I've ever had, and it's funny because it's my daily driver. I'm ecstatic with how that car turned out. It's fascinating. Blech. never mind. The car looks great. Seriously, I can't be more happy about it. Thank you so much, ZL1 Add-ons, for all the help with that car. I'm sorry that this video wasn't a little bit longer. We were supposed to have the Mustang together today. No big deal. We got to do some stuff to the Shelby. In the next few videos, we'll probably be working on the Shelby a little bit more after we get the Mustang finished up. Before the event, don't forget about our event, by the way. It's October 12th. We're having an entire really cool race that we're going to be hosting in Dallas at Extreme Raceway Park. If you guys are anywhere in Texas, make sure you come out to there. We're going to have 5 classes. We're giving out prizes to the top 5 winners in each class, which means that we're having 25 total winners that are going to be winning a lot of cash, and also some SK Tools. SK Tools is putting on the event with me, so huge thanks to them as well. But anyways, though, we're going to be having a naturally aspirated stick shift class, nitrous stick shift class, boosted stick shift class. Then we're going to have a naturally aspirated auto class and also a boosted auto class. So 5 total classes, 25 chances to win some money and prizes and all kinds of stuff. Thousands and thousands of dollars are getting given out. So if you guys are interested in money, which I know you are, if you're interested in cars, you're on the right channel. Obviously, you're here, so you are. Come out to this event. It's going to be a blast. Hopefully, we're going to have the Shelby out there. Hopefully, we'll have the black car done by then and be able to make its first Hail Mary pass on the new setup out there. Hopefully, we'll have the Corvette, Meep. We'll have a lot of cars out there. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a ton of fun for sure. But that's probably going to be a wrap for today's video. We're going to be doing some more stuff to the Shelby, so stay tuned. Hopefully, after we get our new throwout bearing in, we'll be able to put a shim behind it, not overextend the new one, and be able to drive that car again, which is going to be amazing. I cannot wait. It's been too long. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to make a 4-hour drive right now in the Shelby. So putting as many miles on this car as fast as we can. I've actually already put like 6,000 miles on it, which is insane, but we're driving it for sure. I told you guys if I got this car, I was gonna drive the hell out of it, and we are. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.
Running on, running on, that's right. Tell these bitches please stay in your lane, move along. Might take a trip across the pond just to flex. Papa saying, yeah, we got a long flight home. Say she got a man, but that ring is gone. She my greatest fan, play this song.